Hello, and welcome to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom with your hosts, Heather and Rachel.
Together, we're here to talk about all things self-care, from fitness to mindfulness and everything in between.
Whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates, or practices like tapping and meditation, we're here to help you discover new ways to care for yourself.
We'll also share tips on positive self-talk, finding time for self-care, and creating routines that stick.
We're here to provide you with plenty of tips, tricks, and unsolicited life advice.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Join our community, and together we can explore the path to wellness.
Welcome back to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom, where we dive into personal growth, well-being, and everything in between. I'm Heather, and today we're focusing on something we really all can relate to, happiness. We've all heard that happiness is a choice, but is it really that simple? Joining me today is my co-host, Rachel, and together we'll unpack a blog that she wrote on 5 Minutes for Me. The blog explores practical ways to turn happiness into a habit. It's such a timely topic, right? And especially with everything that's going on in the world today. So without further ado, we're going to ask some questions and we're going to go back and forth just with our topic like we normally do. What are the key elements of turning happiness into a daily habit?
Okay, so with anything else, we're going to cultivate a new habit. So you need to look at, what's going on in your day, become aware of, your thought patterns, what you're saying to yourself, like throughout the day, all these little things that maybe you're not noticing. And I think the key to starting anything new is to notice what you're already doing so that you can then make those changes, whether it's with scheduling or how you talk to yourself or planning your meals. You have to look at what you're already doing and where you want to make changes and improvements. So happiness and feelings are the same thing. So I'm going to become aware of our current thought patterns, noticing where you're caught up in negativity, self-doubt, feeling, just not feeling great. We can look into different aspects and journaling, things that we know that make us feel better. And we're going to start adding those things into our day.
So implementing different activities.
Right. So yeah, there's all different types of activities that you can do, and it's going to be different for everyone, right? So what makes me happy is not necessarily what makes you happy or anyone else happy. So we're going to look into activities that release happiness hormones, like simple little things that, like smiling, maintaining good posture. It's amazing, like just how when you sit up straight and kind of engage and lock in on what's going on, how that changes your whole perception of what's happening around you. Breathing exercises and just different types of mindful activities that you can do on a daily basis just to kind of boost the amount of times that, you're feeling happy throughout your day.
Yeah, that's great. So how can we become more aware? So we talked about being aware, but how can we become more aware of our thought patterns, and what roles does gratitude journaling play in shifting our mindset towards happiness?
Okay, so becoming aware of thought patterns starts with noticing when you get caught up. So we're going to take a pause here. So you may need to slow down in your day. If you're someone that runs, right, you may need to, okay, I'm going to stop. You may have to even schedule it in. If you're someone who's constantly going, you can set reminders for this. Stop, slow down, pay attention to what's happening and how you're feeling. And there's all different ways that you can check in with yourself. So gratitude journaling is one of them, or any type of journaling, really, because if you feel like you're caught up in craziness, sometimes gratitude isn't what's on your mind. So yeah, definitely you can, but you can also journal about, okay, I'm feeling crazy right now. Why am I feeling so crazy? And you can literally start journaling about it. And I am never, I'm always blown away by the answers I come up with, because it's almost nothing that I've ever thought about. So I start writing and it surprises me more times than it doesn't what I come up with.
What comes out.
So it really is. And it's funny, because people are like, oh, journaling, whatever. But I always get like these little hidden gems of things that I
Mhm.
kind of was overlooking and missing when I stop and just write it out. And when you have a minute and you stop and you think about all the things you're grateful for,
Right.
it can make you just it shifts your perspective. And you're like, okay, I slowed down. I'm looking at it this from a different way, and wow, you know what? I have all these things that I can be happy about. I can stress over this.
Right.
But wow, let me stop for a minute and just think about all the reasons I have to be happy. And there are some days, and there's always going to be some times where things just they're going to suck. Like you're just going to be. And it's okay. Like we're not talking about like toxic positivity and being happy like in every moment of your day, but you can look for more times and more ways to cultivate that happiness.
Right. I think that's a good point too, right? It's not this false toxic positivity trying to like, make it like something that it's not, right? It
No, yeah.
is genuinely trying to change your thought pattern and trying to develop that
Hmm.
habit. It's not going to just be like done, right? And
Right. No.
we talk about that all the time. Like it's work to do these things is work.
And
But
the good thing is once you develop the habit, you're automatically going to shift towards that.
mhm,
So, and again, you're never going to be perfectly happy all the time. Life is messy and things are going to get messy, but you can learn to deal with these things better and be able to kind of default like back to your normal setting of being in like a happier mindset
right.
and being a little bit more positive, even when things are not great.
Can you give an example, like how reframing can change a frustrating situation and shift it over
Absolutely.
to a positive one?
Okay, so when you reframe something, right, it's just shifting your perspective. You're going to look at something a different way.
Hmm.
So so we'll take traffic cuz just almost everyone deals with traffic, right? So you get stuck in traffic, there's nothing you can do about it. You can maybe find something, a different route on your GPS, but you're going to be stuck for a little while. So instead of getting frustrated and hitting the horn and screaming, and sometimes I do scream in the car, I'm not going to lie. And that does help a little bit. I will sometimes just scream. And I'm like, all right. So tension release.
Hmm.
But there's lots of little things you can do. So you can take the time and listen to an audiobook. You can put on like one of your favorite playlists and sing along, which is always one of my favorite options. Um, and just turn it into a positive situation. Sometimes I'll call someone. Like today on my way home, I talked to my brother. It was his birthday. He was like, "Hey, I'm home." I'm like, perfect. I'm like, I'm in the car. I'm like, let me call my brother, wish him a happy birthday, see what he's up to, and all that. So I was like, that's all those little things that you can do. Just you're stuck in traffic. It sucks, right? And it doesn't
Hmm.
make the traffic any better, but now you're not so upset about it. You found a way to kind of like shift your mood. And
Yeah.
I do love music in any form to shift a mood. So
Right.
cultivating
So-
playlists really just that's also a great way that we don't talk about a lot, like to cultivate like your mindfulness. You can really think about what it is that you want for like a party playlist or like a I'm stuck in traffic playlist
Mhm.
and all
Yeah.
that, just to kind of get your mind where you want it to be. Music can be huge.
Yeah. And it's nice to actually have a little distraction. What are some simple ways that we can trigger happiness hormones to enhance our mood?
Okay, so this is great because these are all really easy. And I think a lot of times we get stuck in these patterns of being like wrapped up in what we're doing and trying to get things done and trudging through.
Hmm.
And your demeanor changes while you're doing that. So some little things just to shift is um, smiling. When you smile,
Hmm.
it changes just everything that gets released. Hugging, laughing. So smiling is going to release dopamine and serotonin, right?
Okay.
Physical touch and hugging, smiling releases dopamine and serotonin. All right. While physical touch, like hugging, promotes the release of oxytocin. This is going to foster like bonding and calmness.
Hmm.
Laughter boosts endorphins, right? So it's going to kind of create a natural sense of well-being. So all these little things that you can do just
Right.
to kind of like perk yourself up a little bit. And sometimes too, if you notice, like I notice when I am like really wrapped up in something or I'm kind of sad, you're
Hmm.
not feeling that great, you feel down, right? So like
Right.
down. So you're that's your posture, right? So when you feel down, why do they call it feeling down? You're looking down, your head's towards the floor, you're curving
Hmm.
inward. Simply by pulling yourself up, like, guess what? Things are
Right.
looking up.
Up.
And it really does, like, that's where all that comes from, that those little changes
Hmm.
and just your body and your posturing really
Yeah.
kind
Your
of shift
body
your
language.
mind. Yeah, it shifts your mind and your perspective and how
Mhm.
you're feeling. So sometimes, like, all you really need to do is sit up tall and open up, and
Right.
it really kind of lightens the load.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And yeah, I think the other thing to look at is like these are all simple things
Yeah,
and
these are
like
really easy, like,
in the
that
here
you
and
can do in
now.
seconds
Yes,
to
and
shift.
yeah, so you don't have to like it's not a production where
No.
where it's like, oh, I have to draw the bath and make a spa day and
Yeah.
relax and whatever, right? These are just smiling and hugging and
Right,
just
and no one even really notices what you're doing, like, that you're
mhm,
trying to, like, make a shift or make a change in how you're
right.
feeling in the day. They're all quick, easy,
Mhm,
effective. They don't cost anything.
right.
And the
Right.
more you are aware of that and the more you start practicing that kind of stuff, not only too, so you're gonna make yourself feel better, if you walk around smiling more
Yes.
and
It's
laughing
contagious.
more, it really is. And, especially like, you want a hug. I mean, if you're close with people and you're comfortable doing that, you're boosting your mood and you're
Mhm.
boosting the moods of everyone around you as well,
Right.
which then it's a constant loop. So you get like that feedback. And
Mhm.
when you see other people are happier around you, it really creates like an atmosphere
Right.
of happiness and joy and relaxation, which is really great. So, I mean, you can lift the mood in your own home. You can
Right.
lift the mood at work.
Yeah.
And, it may take some time to develop, but all it is, you smile and someone smiles back at you and it keeps it going,
Yeah.
it's really nice how that can happen.
So why do you think small physical action, like smiling and hugging, can have such a big effect or a big impact on your emotional state? So why is that? Why
Right.
is
So it's so funny, like, cause I go back and forth. I always jump ahead of like the question I'm kind of
Mhm.
answering, but that's in one of those ways that's the same, right? So you're kind of spreading this, it's filling the room, it's creating an atmosphere and all that. But
Mhm.
so all these small physical actions, smiling, hugging, right? They're going to release those happiness hormones, right? You're releasing dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. And these hormones help to improve mood, reduce stress, and create a sense of connection and well being, making these simple actions powerful tools. But again, you don't need to know all of that. Like, you don't need to know the hormones. You
Right.
just need to know that when you do these things, your body is going to react positively.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
and that's really a great thing. And again, it's like that feedback loop. So you're smiling, which then causes someone else to smile. And it really kind of helps create a great atmosphere and a great day. So
Right. Just the cycle, right? Is
yeah, it's
around. It's
so,
kind of
you
like when
get
we
get yourself into a habit and everyone else around you then
well,
kind of like,
it's like almost like contagious laughter.
yeah,
You're like, "Why are we laughing?" But I'm laughing because 'cause you're laughing, and you're laughing because 'cause I'm laughing, and it's just
exactly.
contagious.
And it's
Yeah.
always wonderful when there's always someone who has that laugh where you just can't help but laugh. Even if you don't find
Mhm.
whatever's happening funny, when
Right.
someone has that great, like wholehearted laughter, like
Right.
those like deep belly laughs,
Kids.
some, right, I will laugh sometimes just at them laughing,
Mhm.
even if I didn't find what happened
Yes.
funny, just because
I can tell
it's
you
so contagious.
when my kids laugh or when my grandkids laugh, I just laugh. I don't know what they're laughing at. I have
Yeah.
no clue what they're laughing at, but their laughter brings me such joy,
Yeah,
and it's just
it's
so
pretty
beautiful.
amazing.
So can you explain how improving your posture can influence happiness? And we talked about this a little bit,
Yeah.
but you have a
Yeah.
little bit more written here. So
Mhm.
um on ways to do it. So give us an example like on how you shift that posture.
All right. So, I mean, it's a simple matter of sometimes a lot of times if we're like rounded at the spine, we're looking down, like we're on our computer, we're on our phone, right? We tend to have that hunch. And again, like you're feeling down, you're looking down. Things start to weigh on you. Literally,
Right.
gravity is pushing you down. And again, you think about these things like, oh, things are looking up,
Hmm.
you're opening up and you're feeling better. Yeah.
Right.
So just shifting your posture, you're going to bring your spine into neutral, right? You want long neck, eyes forward. So
Hmm.
you can see what's going on around you.
Right.
You're opening up your breathing. That's going to make a big difference. So now you're getting more oxygen in, you're getting more blood flow, you're getting all these different things going here. So now we're sending signals to our brain, right? So when we're sitting up straight and we're looking someone directly in the eye, we're feeling more confident,
Hmm.
in ourselves and in our bodies when we posture this way. And it's funny too, like with just confidence, you get
Right.
yourself into the right posture, it changes your demeanor. Like
Right.
you're going to change how you feel by just simply moving your body around. And this is something fun to test out. Like you should, see when sometimes you're getting like you're tired, like you're been hunched over your computer or your phone all day, your neck is down. If you take a few minutes to like sit up tall, get your feet flat on the floor and breathe, it's
Hmm.
going to change how you feel. Um,
Right.
so, I've got a
And it
couple
changes the
examples of like some
energy.
simple,
It
yeah.
changes your energy in your body, your energy flow, right?
Well,
Like when you sit
absolutely.
up.
I mean, from this position to this position,
Hmm.
you're opening up the flow.
Right. Right.
It's,
And so when
everything's
you
got more places to go.
Yeah. And so when you look at it in that manner, like it changes your energy, it's like an energy shift, right?
Hmm.
So it's not only just what you're talking about, your whole entire energy chakra system shifts
Yeah.
at that moment of sitting taller and opening up your chest and your throat and things like that, and changes the confidence. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. No, that's fine. No, and that was a great point to bring up. I really I appreciate that because that just kind of adds to it. And again, like I kind of invite you to play around with this. Anyone who is sitting a lot at work, or even if you're standing all day long, when
Mhm.
you're in one posture and you kind of like keep the same stance, we tend to kind of like settle into it.
Right.
And sometimes you just need to kind of open up,
Hmm.
shift, and change everything. And it's a fun thing to do each day because I think we don't really notice how we're feeling,
Hmm.
right? You get into it and you just keep going and going and going, and you don't notice you're getting a little more tired from standing this way, or your neck is starting to hurt, or any of these little things. So you stop, take stock of how you're feeling, what your body feels like in that moment, and then take a minute to shift
Hmm.
and stand up tall, lift up your head, like look straight ahead, make sure your feet are like firmly on the floor, and see what that feels like. And the
Right.
more you do this and the more you get comfortable with it, it kind of reminds you more and more to keep making that shift.
Right.
And then it gets easier and these things become your normal and your baseline. And that's again, like that's kind of how we add to the habit of happiness. We find these things that feel good
Hmm.
and we remind ourselves to do them
Right.
over and over and over again. And that then becomes like, that becomes your baseline. That starts to
Hmm.
become more your normal. Is it
Your
going to make
habit.
you, yeah, right? Are you going to make it, is it going to work every single time? No, but more times than not, it will. And, who doesn't want more of that?
Yeah,
So,
totally. Absolutely. So breathing exercises, which
mhm,
this one I absolutely love because breathing exercises changes everything. So in my world, changes
absolutely.
everything, changes your efficiency of movement, changes your thought, like your function of your brain and your
Mhm.
thought pattern and how you feel. So yeah, let's talk about breathing techniques. This is great.
So there's so many different ones. I have listed like in the blog, I have 478 technique. So you're gonna usually what I do when I have someone do breathing is just to notice the breathing that the way that it is
Hmm.
in the moment. Pay attention. Is it through your nose? Is it through your mouth?
Hmm.
Where do you feel it coming in and out of your body? Get to know how you're breathing now. And then before you start to even do anything else, now just slow your breathing down.
Right.
And you'll instantly feel a shift in your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
When you slow your breathing down, everything slows down. All the chaos, the craziness around you, like everything that's happening around you, when you stop and you slow your breath,
Right.
all of that slows down with you, which is like just such a powerful tool.
Right.
And this is something that I generally remember. Like if I'm getting anxious and all of that, I will literally, in the midst of everything, when I catch myself, I'm like, all right, I'm going to slow everything down. And just by noticing my breath and slowing it down, everything slows down with me. And it's funny because then I can go back at everything in a much calmer, clearer way.
Right.
So
And you think better.
absolutely. Yeah, no, it really does. It like, because when your brain is going that fast,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a dog chasing its tail. It never gets anywhere. Like you're
Yeah.
literally just spinning around in circles.
Yep.
So for this technique, you're going to breathe, you're going to inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Then you're going to hold the breath for 7 and then exhale through the mouth for 8.
Mm-hmm.
And you can practice this in like cycles of 4. Start with maybe a minute, but anytime you're uncomfortable, if the breathing is uncomfortable, stop.
Yeah.
And lessen it a little bit because you're doing this. You want it to feel good. If you have trouble with the breathing, then take it slow, do a cycle, take a break, maybe try again later. Because you want to make sure again that it feels safe. So anyway, what this is going to do, it's going to help reduce cortisol, which is your stress hormone.
Right.
It's going to promote relaxation. It's activating your parasympathetic nervous system. That's a lot. It's a mouthful. So that's your rest and digest. This is where we're calm. So this is where our nervous system shifts to, where it takes our body into that calm, where we can rest, we can think clearly, we digest. The opposite of this is our fight or flight. So everything shuts down. You get cortisol, you get a rush of adrenaline, and you are ready to run and hide or start to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So when you want to get out of that, when you're looking to calm down, you want to shift over to that rest and digest. And this breathing exercise is a good way to get started with that. So,
yay.
Yeah. Parasympathetic. I did it.
I did it.
I did it. I said the word.
Good job. Good
Thank
job.
you. See, and compliments can also.
Yes. Compliments can make us happy.
Give me a compliment. I
Yeah.
failed. Yeah. I got something right. I celebrated. Did you see that? I celebrated just saying the word right.
I know. That's
And
good.
now I'm smiling.
That's great. I love it. And I'm smiling because you didn't say the word right. But
Okay.
I'm also smiling because I'm super proud of you because you kept going until you got it right. So yay you. I'm so proud of you.
Okay.
So for someone just starting out with this, right? You're recommending just like starting off really slow, taking the breaths, like maybe doing, a 4, 5, 6 count or something of that nature, and
Yeah.
then working.
No, if you can't do that, I have sometimes a hard time holding that 7 if I stop practicing a while. And I noticed too, I have to pace myself on the exhale a lot of times.
Yes.
When I'm just practicing the breathing. It's funny, if I'm doing it with like a stretch or something, I can tend to prolong the exhale a little bit more because like somehow it just seems to go together.
Yeah,
when I'm focusing on it, like, and trying to practice it, it takes me a minute, extend the exhale that long. Like I can take a longer inhale much easier sometimes than I can slow the exhale down. Yeah.
Nice.
So, and the more I practice, the easier it gets. And like once, certain things you do like on a day to day, it just, you're not even thinking about it anymore and you're just doing it, which is great. You kind of go on automatic, which is wonderful for, it's a good healthy habit to just kind of have that as your default.
And this, and I can speak because I teach my clients the 4-7-8. It really helps with anxiety. It is a great technique for anxiety. And it, I know people that never heard of it and now they're doing it and they're just like, every time I feel anxious, I do this and it just kind of like slowly just dilutes the anxiety down
Yeah.
to almost nothing, which is beautiful. Um, so let's look at like how do we incorporate, how do we give ourselves these friendly reminders to bring in mindfulness on a daily routine, like on a daily basis?
There's so many ways to do that. So anyway, you're going to remind yourself of something else, like
Mm-hmm.
put it in your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
If leave yourself a post-it, like
Set an
from eight,
alarm.
right, from 8 to 8 to
Mm-hmm.
15, I'm practicing this. Like at 1 o'clock, when I'm done eating my lunch, I'm going to check in and see if I'm still hungry, if
Mm-hmm.
I need to go to the bathroom. Do I need a drink of
Right.
water?
Right.
All these little things. Leave yourself reminders, however it's most efficient for you.
Right.
So if it's most efficient for you to set a reminder on your phone, do that. If it's most efficient for you to like pencil it into a calendar, like if you're a pen and paper kind of person, if it's if you want to stick like post-it notes or color code a calendar,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that like clicks with you, that's
Yeah.
what you do, and add it in. And you really want, the important thing is to start really, really small. Start
Yeah.
with one thing. Remind yourself to do one thing. Do it for a few weeks.
Okay.
See how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
If it works for you, great. Continue that in and then add in the next thing. If it
Right.
doesn't work and you're not liking it, try something new. Work with that. Get that cup to where you're comfortable, where it becomes like pretty automatic. You're doing that every day. Just like, do you ever forget to brush your teeth in the morning? Like most of us don't,
No.
right? Because we get up and it's a given. You get up, you go to the bathroom, you wash your hands, you wash your face, you brush your
Yeah.
teeth. Like it's a part of everything.
It's a habit.
So absolutely. So anywhere you're looking to add these habits into your day, just keep putting them there day to day to day. And then I know sometimes too, like I'll be running short on time, and some of my extra habits, I'll be like, oh, I don't have time for this today. But then I'll get to the point, I'm like, no, but I have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also like, we talked about in our last episode, trusting the process, right? So trust the process of like when you're starting something new, trust the process, give it some time before you jump onto something else. Give it some time to resonate in your body. And then after you give it a little bit of time, if it doesn't resonate, then move on to something else. But try to let it resonate with you first, and then you can try other things and plug other things in, because sometimes we jump from thing to thing going, oh, this isn't working. And it's
Yeah.
really, it really kind of makes it difficult to hone in on what's best for you and your body and what settles in,
I
right?
feel like when you're starting something new too, like I said, same time every day,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what's going on, fit it in. Like there's certain things I do in the morning, first thing when I get up. And then there's
Mm-hmm.
certain things I do that I add to my, my bathroom routine, my hygiene routine. There are certain
Mm-hmm.
things that I do when I drive in my car. There are
Right.
certain things that I do when I get into work. And I've built like quite an extensive morning routine, because that's where I
Mm-hmm.
like to put a lot of my daily like actions in. And then I have my simple like little interventions that I do as needed
Right.
throughout the day. But those are it's easier to remind myself of those things when I've got, my regular timed
Yeah.
out.
And you don't want it to be stressful either. You're not
No,
like
it should actually, like,
stressing out that you have to.
that's a reason to make yourself happier, right? You don't want to be stressing that you're not doing all the right stuff to be happy, because that's
Exactly.
really counterproductive.
Yeah.
So, and don't put pressure that this is not something you should put pressure on yourself for. Like you're practicing this because you want it to feel good.
Right.
And that's basically it. So if it's not making you happy, like you may want to go back and just kind of, look at where you're putting it in, maybe change the time around, try it maybe a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
And then proceed.
So how do habit like exercising, exposure to sunlight, and random acts of kindness contribute to happiness and well-being?
Okay. So exercise is going to really release endorphins. Okay. So that's going to just automatically, I know no one ever wants to start exercising, but like, I shouldn't say no one, but once you get used to how good it feels, right? That really, you release those endorphins, you feel good. again, it helps build that habit because you're looking for that. Like you like
Movement
that
feels
feeling.
good.
Yeah, it does. It just
Movement
does.
feels
And it's
good.
like, so if you get into the habit of it and you get it at a good time, becomes easier and easier to get yourself motivated to go out
Right.
there and do it. Exposure to sunlight helps the body produce serotonin. So that's going to help stabilize your mood, and definitely, and vitamin D, which is going to do so many great things for you. So get out, get some daily exposure to sun first thing in the morning, or, after 5 if you can, because it's safer for the skin that way.
Hmm.
I know ideally if you can and it's safe for your skin, like full exposure without sunblock is a lot of times recommended, but you need to do it during safe times.
Uh-huh.
And make sure you check with your doctor to make sure that that's something safe for you. I know they have those like red light therapy and all that. First thing in the morning that kind of gets your body kind of going supercharged. It'll help
Mhm.
boost your mood to start your day well. Acts of kindness are going to release oxytocin and dopamine. And who doesn't feel good when they make someone else feel good? I mean,
Right.
right? It just kind of, it's immediate. Like it's that immediate gratification.
Mhm.
You say something nice to someone, they smile, you both feel better.
Right. Totally.
So,
So, what advice would you give to someone struggling to incorporate these habits on a daily basis?
honestly, just keep trying, look for different ways to incorporate it in there. You want to start small always, one thing at a time. You
Mhm.
don't need to do it all like you're not building Rome in a day. So one small step. Because again, if you try to do too much at once, you're going to stress yourself out, and then it kind of cancels out the making yourself happier.
Right.
So find where it fits, where it's really comfortable with you, where you have time to play with it, to try new
Mhm.
things. Um, Even if it's just like smiling at yourself in the mirror when you wake up in the morning, right? It's just a small thing. And just like when you do, congratulating yourself when you do a good job, or just moving your body. If you don't want to start a full exercise routine, maybe you can do 2 or 3 morning stretches just to open your body up and get things going. And it's
Dance.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
in the middle of the
Dance
day,
like
that's
nobody's
always fun,
watching.
even if
Turn
they
on the
are.
music and just dance.
Or yeah, I mean, sometimes like put your favorite song on in the car, like get yourself psyched up to go wherever you're going. Like
Yep.
give yourself a theme song. And every time you put your theme song on, like you
Yeah.
just go crazy, like scream it out, dance to it, whatever you need to do. But yeah, just like we all have those things, that one little thing that always makes us feel better.
Hmm.
So start doing more of it. And
Right.
then look for more places you can add that into your day. So
Yeah.
it's that easy. Schedule it if you have to, one thing at a time. Don't put pressure on yourself.
Hmm. Yeah.
And ask for help when you need it. That's always the most important
Yeah.
thing. Just
And this is not like to cure depression.
no.
This
These are
is
just everyday
these
tips to
these are
incorporate
happiness
more
habits.
happiness. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. We're
Yes.
not doctors. If you're
Right.
having, if you're suffering from, if you're suffering from anything that requires medical or professional mental health intervention, seek that out.
Yes.
Take care of yourself, because that's really what this is all about. If you need to be taken care of, like take that step, take care of yourself.
Yeah. Totally. So I think we've really peeled back the layers of how happiness
Yeah,
can become a daily habit, right? A
I hope
daily
so.
practice,
Yeah.
not just a fleeting feeling, from shifting thought patterns and releasing happiness hormones to practicing mindfulness and creating small habits, positive habits. It's clear that joy is something we can all intentionally cultivate in our lives. And it's not about feeling positive all the time, but it is about building strong foundations of joy that we can return to even in difficult moments. Start with one small change, whether it's breathing or gratitude or smiling often or taking a few minutes to just focus on something joyful.
Yeah. Let the
Um,
sun
pro-
hit your face, like
yes, yes. Progress, not perfection, is key. Rachel, thank you so much. remember to check out 5 Minutes for Me, where Rachel has a plethora of blogs that will help you navigate through some of life's challenges. I'm sure our listeners are walking away from this with tons of inspiration. We hope. As always, thank you for listening to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom. Until next time, we appreciate you.
All
Bye.
right. Love you guys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom. Don't forget to subscribe or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And follow us on social media for more updates. See you next time.